How do you change where your content is seen by others on TikTok? Is this something that's even within your control inside of the app? In short, yes it is. We're gonna unpack several solutions in today's video. Now, I feel it very important to understand, first of all, how TikTok geo-targets based on location, because this is vastly different from traditionally how most social media platforms function, for better, for worse. In very simple terms, where you create your account on TikTok is predominantly where you're going to influence. If you're in Canada, you create your account in Canada, you're gonna notice you're gonna be influencing a lot of Canadian audiences for the first 50 videos roughly that you put out there. Now, that sphere of influence, or what countries or territories your videos are seen in, generally is limited to the nearest 4 to 5 regions, and you're going to see this reflected in your analytics. For example, here's a video with roughly 40 million views, and if we scroll down to the video views by region section, we can see percentages from Mexico, Vietnam, Colombia, the UK, Argentina, Germany. They're very small percentages, so you can rest assured that this video was seen all over the world. And this is generally what you're going to see when you review either the profile analytics or, in this case, the video analytics. There's going to be a spectrum of different territories, and that is normal. But how do you change that? How do you target a particular location on TikTok? Well, for starters, you really have a few different options at your disposal. First of all, TikTok is going to organically, natively, by itself, without your intervention, expand your content to different territories once you start achieving multiple breakthrough videos. A breakthrough video is generally a video over 1 million views. What language you speak in your content, the language you write in your text bubbles, the hashtags that you use, even your audio selections are all going to weigh heavily into what regions or territories or countries your content eventually expands to. And in case you haven't noticed already, it's completely normal to have a spectrum of different territories that your video reaches at any given time. So just to recap, so we're clear, if hypothetically you're in Portugal and you want to reach US-based audiences, or the UK or Canada or Australia, English-speaking territories, let's just say, you're going to have to be speaking English in your content, using US-based hashtags, using popular audio from the States, and TikTok will eventually pick up on your intentions and start serving your content to those regions once you start having videos that have views at scale. Breakthrough videos, as we talked about, videos that have a surplus of 1 million views. In the short term, you will likely be reaching Portuguese viewers or local audiences, but again, that's not permanent. Now, there is a way to shortcut this, and this is where VPNs and SIM cards really come into the equation. A lot of you have likely heard different hearsay information on using these methods. Some have had success, others haven't. I want to share with you what we found have been the best solutions from the thousands of conversations I've had with some of you and the discourse inside our public and private TikTok communities. Here are the facts so far. VPNs, or virtual private networks, which can change your IP address or hide the location that you're currently residing in, they work very arbitrarily. Some people have success with them, others don't. It's not a very surefire way to change where your content is seen. However, that's not to say everyone doesn't have success with them. There are certain locations, like France, for example, where creators most of the time have success with VPNs. I have not been able to connect the dots why France has it easier than others, but that's just what I found so far. If you're looking for a VPN to use, there are really 3 that creators have the most success with: Surfshark, NordVPN, and there's one more. I'll link all 3 of these in the description down below. However, bearing all that in mind, a better alternative is to utilize a SIM card to change regions on TikTok. The SIM card is a little computer chip that's inserted into your device that allows you to connect to whatever network provider you purchase with the SIM card: Verizon, Google Fi, AT&T, T-Mobile. These data plans usually are preloaded on the SIM card when you buy it, which is going to run you ballpark $35. I'll put several links in the description down below where creators usually purchase these SIM cards from. Again, they're not that expensive, and it's generally recommended that you utilize the SIM card or the data plan of the SIM card to do all your content creation and activity on TikTok versus using the local Wi-Fi network. You can use Wi-Fi or whatever your home router is to view and consume on TikTok, but if you're uploading content, you're leaving comments, you're going live, activity like that, it's generally recommended that you use the SIM card's data plan. Now, the SIM card route, this method usually works with about a 90% success rate. The catch, though, is that you have to create the account with the SIM card installed. You can't create the account on TikTok in Zimbabwe, purchase an American SIM card, install that, and then hope to start reaching US audiences. It's just not going to work. We've had multiple people cross their fingers, hoping it would be different for them. I've tried it myself. I went to Russia a while back, purchased a Russian SIM card for an account that was created in the US, started uploading content in Moscow, and lo and behold, it was still reaching those US audiences, not a percentage from Russia. In fact, the views were significantly lower, and we're going to talk about that when we talk about nomadic creators or those that travel in a question coming soon. But if that's the scenario you find yourself in, your best bet is option 1 that we talked about, the organic distribution process with breakthrough videos. So hopefully that's clear so far. Leave a comment down below. Let me know if I can fill in any blanks in your mind that are not clear so far. What I do want to focus on right now is answering some common questions that people have regarding changing locations on TikTok. The first of which is, do hashtags play a crucial role in changing the location where my content is seen? The answer to this is yes and no. Using a group of French tags, for example, or Spanish tags is not going to result in the algorithm immediately changing who sees your content. Unfortunately, I wish it was that easy, but what it will result in is the likelihood of French or Mexican or Spanish audiences finding your content through discovery. There are French, Spanish, Mexican demographics that are making use of these tags, browsing them. There are massive influencers in these countries that are promoting them. So if your content really is for those countries, then yes, you're going to start to build up an audience from France or Spain or Mexico. So the short answer is yes, in a way, hashtags do help with the transition. The same can be said with keywords as well. If you're reporting on events in South Africa, well, there are going to be audiences on TikTok searching for those keywords, and you'll likely be found simply by search. So hopefully that's clear. The next question, does speaking a different language help you reach certain territories? Yes, it does. Keep in mind that the algorithm on TikTok ultimately exists to put your content in front of the audiences most likely to engage with it, to keep them on the platform. We all know this. It certainly doesn't accomplish this 100% of the time, but that's the goal. If you speak German in your content, TikTok is going to pick up on that language, on your accent, and will alter the distribution of your content slightly. It generally is very subtle over the period of a few months. It's never instant. Usually creators start to notice maybe a few more German comments that are starting to appear. There was a German guitarist who I worked with many months ago who was based in the UK, had, as you might expect, an English-speaking audience, didn't want to be there, wanted to influence Germany predominantly, started speaking German in his content. Yes, the views were very low for the first few months, but after about 4 to 5 months, there was a massive increase gradually in the amount of German people his content was being shown to, and ended up getting to about a 60% distribution to Germany in almost every single video. So it is a gradual transition, but it's what we've got to work with. Does traveling change my location on TikTok? The answer to this is yes, and sometimes not necessarily for the better. I've always maintained that nomadic creators, those that are travelers, adventurous, always have it the hardest on TikTok because the usage of different foreign Wi-Fi networks, changing out data plans constantly as you're in a new region, that tends to be a massive monkey wrench when it comes to getting views consistently. There have been different creators I've worked with in the past, business creators who travel all the time, and they would post all during that travel stint. And when they're in the US, they would always have their viral videos. Elsewhere, nothing. The views would be very low or sometimes non-existent at all. There would be a 0% For You page ratio. I don't know why that is. I'm still connecting the dots there. For whatever reason, it's just the system that TikTok has adopted, and they keep things very, very localized. If there's any suspicious or abnormal activity on where the account is posting from, there tends to just be a clamp on the exposure. So keep that in mind. But that being said, that's TikTok location changing in a nutshell. If you found value from this video, consider subscribing down below. If you'd like to connect in a one-on-one format and brainstorm ideas for creating content for your region, or you're discussing your particular scenario, you can find the link down below. We'll catch you in the next video. Cheers.